All right, so here we are now. Moment of truth. I've got a capper here. I've got some number 11 caps in here. And I'm going to compare these number 11 caps to the homemade caps that I made out of soda can. So we got these guys here with that priming compound we mixed up. A couple of drops of acetone in each one. Going to see how these do. Let them sit for 24 hours like the directions said. First thing I will tell you is if I take one of these number 11 caps out of here, let me just pop one of these out of this capper here. This is very rigid. You can hold this between your fingers. It definitely doesn't collapse. You can see there's a nice defined kind of wafer in the bottom, and it's pretty rigid. Okay. By comparison, these homemade ones, get one up here, are quite flimsy. I mean, I can squeeze that and it actually flexes between my fingers. Although once the priming compound dries, it does add some rigidity. Before you prime these, they are just very flimsy. And what I'm afraid of is if I'm too rough with that, let me see if some will, yep. So if you're too rough with it, the priming compound flakes out. So anyway, so definitely a storage issue if you're going to make your own. So let's compare. Let's make a little noise here. So I'm going to, got this old boy at half cock here. I've got this percussion pistol. We're going to put this number 11 cap on the nipple. We're just going to take a look at the flash and try and catch the lock in the muzzle. Here we go. Okay, so not too bad. Not too bad. A little noisy. Of course, we get the busted cap comes off like so. Let's take this one I was just playing with. Now I just squeezed out some of this priming compound. I primed this as directed. Priming it as directed. See, it's coming out all over the table now. So I don't know how well this is going to work. This one may not go bang at all, but I primed this as directed. It said to fill this thing full of powder, and I'm beginning to wonder if that's excessive. But anyway, it does fit on the nipple well. I'm going to come up and show you guys that. So it does fit. I don't know that it's as firm as a number 11 because it's not, you know, that nice tapered machined. But it seems to be pretty sturdy. All right, let's get a look, see how it goes. Show you the hammer and nipple area and the muzzle. I'm going to be honest with you, that seemed to have a lot more oomph than the factory cap. And I think as I prime more of these, I'm going to put less powder in. But it also leaves this residue. I mean, it almost looks like rust. I don't know. I'll have to give the gun a good cleaning. Anyway, I'm going to do one more thing. So let me go get some supplies. Two more tests. I'm going to wad up a t-shirt in the end of this thing and just see how far it shoots it with the factory cap versus the homemade cap. So take my number 11 here, put it in my capper. By the way, I don't believe these homemade caps will fit in a inline capper, so FYI. All right, we're going to go ahead and just wad up a piece of t-shirt in the muzzle. Okay, just tuck it there in the end. Pull this to full cock, and we're going to see how far this bad boy goes. Here we go. Ooh, okay, so that went quite a ways. Now let's do the same thing. So go ahead and tuck that in the end of the muzzle. And we'll clear this old cap. We will put on one of our homemade caps. Our tin can caps here. Okay, and this one's definitely got more priming compound in it. Doesn't want to sit down on the nipple. Definitely the directions say to fill this cap full of priming compound, and I think that's a bad idea. So here we go. Wow. Okay, so that give you an idea here. Let me just show you guys. So I'm shooting at the wall here. And you can see this is the first patch. This is the one I shot with the factory cap. And then the second one actually hit the door here. And, I mean, literally hit the door with some pretty substantial force. and then just fell down. So definitely threw it further. So anyway, and there is our aluminum foil, excuse me, our aluminum can cap, what's left of it. And again, you can see this really rusty looking residue here. So definitely I'm overfilling these. I made another batch tonight, and in looking at this, they're definitely overfilled. So I'm going to try and fill them like maybe a third of the way and see how that goes. So we'll mix up some more and see how they do. So, all right, one last test. I'm going to actually turn off the lights, and I want to see how much spark comes from here and how much spark comes from the muzzle with both the factory cap and a homemade cap. So here goes, folks. All right, guys, so I got it real dark. This is a factory number 11. Hammer recess and the muzzle. Let's see what spark we get. See what kind of spark we get. Pretty good. All right. All right, now here's the homemade. See what kind of spark we get from it. Wow. Definitely look like more to me, but you be the judge. All right, well, these homemade caps, they definitely work. Again, let me grab this bunch that I made up the other night. Followed the directions. I filled these almost all the way to the brim. I put a couple of drops of acetone in each one, and then I tamped them down with a matchstick. And they are pretty full of compound, and you see the one that I shook some of the compound out still went bang pretty well. I made some more up tonight. Let me grab put them on a sheet of paper here. Let me grab the sheet of paper and see if I can do this. And again, I filled them almost all the way up. You can see the little excesses came off there. And I think these are too full. These are still, well, I think they're dry, but it says to leave them for 24 hours. But I'm just going to take one here. So here's one that I made up tonight. And you see how full it is. This is following the directions. And it was completely full of powder. The acetone knocks it down to about half. But if I put this on the nipple as is, it kind of sits up there pretty proud. And the amount of explosive force this has is pretty wild. So I'm going to experiment with maybe only filling the caps half full and see how that does. But definitely in a pinch, these will definitely go bang. So our next video will be on the range. And we'll see how these propel a projectile, see if we get any difference. So anyway, cap maker seems to work pretty well. So, yeah, cool. Homemade caps, who knew?